Tonight, as you can see, we have been refugees in refugee camp, and then we journey all the way to the United States. Sometimes when you hear stories like "Thảo bé tua tế cho nong, bé mồ y, san đô tị u, chọn đô đại, tức chỉ tàu cho sẽ một đá tế là một năng tế." Our elders will tell stories like the journey we have made to the United States, way too far in the other side of the world, where we travel by night and we arrived by day. Is that heaven or is that earth? That's what we're celebrating tonight in this last portion of the program. And that is to our new home, to our new leaders, to our new neighbors, to our new colleagues who have lent a hand to support the Hmong refugees when they came. And when I do training, people say, "Why do you choose Wisconsin when it's so cold?" And I say, you know what? If the Hmong people know about Wisconsin and California, all of us would go to California. But the fact is, we did not know. We were at the mercy of our sponsor. So wherever our sponsor is, that's where we landed. So those of us who landed in Wisconsin, we have learned that Wisconsinite is not that strong in the wintertime compared to us because they have undergarment and we didn't. Tôi biết cho nên cho si mona ya imo. Bây tôi si cộng nói pro mò ok giờ sao bây luôn năng giờ sao bây giờ cái giờ nhẹ giờ sao bây giờ cái con chưa họ lo chấp lời hiện giờ sao bây giờ tôi hỗ trợ ở trận ra bây nhau rồi lấy luôn nu cay rù ít giờ tôi cay tôi bông luôn nu tôi đổ to lại cho nên ở bây tu bây thế li trận mong mong là một gì này chỉ giờ tận đây nào mù bây giờ là một mấy cái khua cái ô châu đầu bây giờ phong như cho nọ chữ cho dây cho rõ và lỡ sai bé luôn si lỡ chú bé tệ bé thì liệu và luôn năng chia tàu để bây giờ là một complete hai khua ô châu đầu chỉ tôi tin năng đó. So without further ado, I wanted to say the purpose of the awards, again, like the recognition of our veterans, is long overdue to recognize those who have planted the seeds of survivals, who have planted the roots, deep roots, so when the snowstorm, the tornado come, the tree would still stand. And we have many, many allies, many, many supporters, but we have very few who do it from the heart and who do it from their conviction to make sure that they save a life. And so that's the purpose of the awards, is to recognize a few of those that during the refugee era, without their hard work, their commitment, and their ever long-lasting struggles being tossed between dancing in their mainstream community and dancing with Hmong refugees, balancing that role. So without further ado, let's get to know who those individuals are. And I will do this first one, and then Vincent will do the rest. So this first one is going to someone who I have known most of my refugee workforce development experience in Department of Workforce Development and then Department of Children. You know, in government, we change the name all the time when we have new leaders, right? And that tells you how many administration I have been working with. This individual started her career really, really young with the refugees. She was not, you know, someone who's seasoned in doing refugee work. But because of her love and her passion to save lives, to embrace life, and to make life comfortable for everyone, she spent her life doing refugee work. And this person started the whole refugee program in Wisconsin with the emergency office that she developed with Governor Lucy. And that emergency office led to a permanent office. And then that permanent created a whole governmental policy about refugee. Sue and a few of her colleagues are the champions of creating the Refugee Act of 1980, which was honored, passed, talked about, and became law. And that's when the rest of the Hmong refugee and the Southeast Asian refugees were able to come to the United States. So Sue and I have gone together in a path that has never been traveled. I was a single Hmong, old maid by Hmong standards, in the community, and Sue was a young hippie graduate who love life and who wants to do nothing but serve people. And in this journey, Sue and I have traveled the path that has not been traveled and paved by others. So I can tell lots and lots of stories, but Sue, thank you for being my mentor. Thank you for being a good boss. And thank you for listening to me some of the time so we don't embarrass state government because you want to wear jeans to meet all the MAA who's going to greet you in three-piece suits on a Saturday. And you listen, so you change, and we save government's face. There's many, many of these stories that I could tell, but without further ado, Sue, would you come up? And we want to give you our thanks on behalf of the Hmong Institute. Này cho nên cho chỉ bao thầu bé qua nâng bông tới chờ tôi nhớ tới chờ nó su giới thu bên nhà nhỏ gần đó tía trên đấy chẳng lúa bé mong cho bé hay chỉ bao cá họ chỉแต่chỉ nữ lúc xưa rong nữ mua xưa luôn tín hàng nữ là chỉ ilu là nó cộng hậu nữ là một chỉ họ cái bát chuột còn là mà đi bằng chân là một qua ý cho cái trái chữ cái bát chuột đó nâng tôi nhớ tới chờ nó hoa Refugee Act of 1980 sự luôn nâng chỉ là một ba thiệt cái và mang tới bây giờ nâng tới cho nên có một số tàu lì cậu tới lúc xong là sư họ nói họ phải mua cái dòng xe ở chỗ đó nữa đó họ chỉ mua nữa rồi lúc họ chú chỉ biết sẽ đợi chỉ mua cái nó hậu đây là cả bé ô là bé chỉ mua rong vì chỉ mua thứ này rong này nữa nhỏ hậu bầu là mù ô tụi cho bây giờ cái tin năng chặt mong như là bây thêm một cái khóa đồ su
Well, I have so much to thank you for, XIONG, and for all of you. Thank you for that kind introduction and for honoring me with this award. And thank you for allowing me to come tonight and see so many old friends and so many new friends who, many of you I've not had the opportunity to meet, but I know that you value Hmong culture and tradition and understand the value of being Hmong, even in a diaspora. And thank you, all of you too, for over the last 46 years having the opportunity to learn about and treasure Hmong culture, traditions, and community. And thank you for working tirelessly to preserve, protect, and adapt Hmong culture within the United States. I'm touched that you have chosen to emphasize the diaspora in this conference, because the diaspora term usually refers to the experiences of my own ethnic group, the Jews. The Jewish people lost their homeland more than 2,000 years ago, and yet they've preserved their culture and religion in countries and communities throughout the world for those 2,000 years. So it's good to reflect on what does it take to maintain cultural identity for millennia when living in a new, different, and sometimes hostile social environment. Well, it takes hard work. It's certainly not a simple task. But maintaining a culture requires careful thought about what things are central to the culture, like the value of family. And those things need to be preserved. And thought about what things to lay aside because they do not provide for growth. Maybe like the patriarchal view of the role of women in society. Maintaining a culture cannot be done alone. It requires building community, and that requires compromise because there will never be complete agreement on what we should do in the future. And maintaining a culture requires a community which cares for its elders, who are the vessels that hold the past and all of those traditions, and cares for its children, who are the future. Maintaining a culture requires institutions, such as the charter schools, the WACMA, the mutual assistance associations, and the Hmong Institute, which provide the structures for examining and transmitting that culture. So I want to thank the many leaders from these institutions who have struggled for years to make Wisconsin and the Hmong community stronger. Maintaining a culture requires leadership, something the Hmong have always had in abundance, but need to foster as new challenges provide new distractions. Maintaining a minority culture also requires participation in the mainstream culture. The Hmong culture can't thrive if it's totally isolated from the environment in which it lives. The strong participation of Hmong Americans in politics, such as Judge Yang today, and the many Hmong who have been elected to public office throughout Wisconsin, is one of the many things I'm personally grateful to the Hmong for, because it's very clear that our United States needs these leadership skills. One of the central Jewish prayers helps sum up how we've survived as a group, despite great hostility and pressures to assimilate. And that prayer goes like this: "Set these words which I command you upon your heart. Teach them faithfully to your children. Speak of them in your home and on your way, when you go to bed and when you awake." In other words, to celebrate the next 45 years of the diaspora, take Hmong community into your heart, or into your liver. Teach it to your children. Tell the world what it means to be Hmong, and do this every single day. And thank you for allowing me over the years to be a part of that.